Where's Kev? Yeah, look, see, he's hanging around. He's so snide. He's just hanging around off the back of me. Doesn't want to put his nose in the wind and drag me along for this sprint. What's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to What's Up Vlog episode 81. We're at the 2-for-1 ride this Thursday morning, which is not one that I usually record because it's just a casual social ride which I didn't imagine would be particularly entertaining. But if the last couple of weeks are anything to go by, there's been some really interesting sprint battles which have made it a little bit more competitive and more fun than I was expecting. So this could be a good watch. The main reason though for recording it is a really exciting collaboration with Team Type 1, as you can see from my snazzy jersey that I'm wearing, which turned up just in time for this ride. So thanks very much Ed Angeli for sorting that out. I love the design, by the way, really nice jersey, good fit, good quality, so excellent job. So we will all be wearing the virtual version of this jersey on our ride today. So we've our orange and black has made way for so that we can support this brilliant group and everything that they stand for. I'll go into more detail while I'm riding, but essentially it's a group that comprises, every single member actually is affected either directly or through relationships by type 1 diabetes, myself included through my eldest son. So it's a group and a cause that is very close to my heart, and I'll be extremely proud to be wearing both the real jersey and the virtual jersey for this ride. So I'll talk more about that as we're riding around, and before then I will shut up, warm up my legs, jump on, wait for more riders to arrive. We've got 10 minutes to go, and so far it's myself, A. Miller Lime, D. Money and M. Donnellan, so it might just be the four of us. But I very much doubt it. I'm expecting a pretty decent crowd, and I really hope so, because the more we have displaying the blue and white around the streets of Watopia today, the better, and it'll be quite a sight to behold. So fingers crossed we get a big crowd, and I will catch you just before the start of the event. Okay, so we've just 3 seconds now to the start of the special stage 2-for-1 for Team Type 1, and here we go. Look at that, what a great sight. Blue and white jerseys all together. Fantastic. I think we're going to start off nice and steady. Make sure we're all bunched together nicely, and then try and hit a rhythm as a bunch of 2 watts per kilogram for the remaining hour. I thought of another sort of competitive, well, not competitive, but sort of challenge to go with this ride actually, which is based on how well we all work as a team. Because if we're all sticking at 2 watts per kilogram and stay nice and tight, we should be able to cover more distance in that hour than if we all get broken up. So I can't remember, unfortunately, exactly the distance we did in the last 2-for-1, but I think that should be the challenge, is to try and obviously stick to the parameters of the ride, but work so well drafting from each other that we increase our distance each time. Anyway, just a thought. So right, I'm just going to settle things down, and then we'll up the pace a little bit. Thank you for the ride on, C. Hayes. I'll start firing some out in a moment. It's always a bit tricky at this early stage when everybody's trying to sort of find their position. Mr. Stephen, hello my friend, thank you very much for the ride on. It's great to see you here. Thanks for your support as always, albeit generally quite sarcastic support. It all counts. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday, buddy. Thank you, M. Shimizu, for the ride on. I recognise that name. I'm sure you've either done this 2-for-1 before or another one of our rides. It's great to have you along. I'll try and run through some names actually. It's not a huge group, so I might be able to
get a mention in for pretty much everyone. I'll start with those reasonably immediately around me. Thanks very much for riding B-Wow, D-Money, C-Busty, A. Miller Lime, who I mentioned I think earlier, G. Tiffin, M. Dunnellan, who's that just above me, in front of me? I think that was Dave Crook's name I just saw flash up. Morgan Morgs, D. Ferris, S. Asano. I think in the green jersey up there is Mr. Dwight Williams, Sprinter Supreme. Watch out for him later on in this video, because we tend to try and set each other up for the sprints. I've been lead out man for Dave Crook for the last couple of races, although I think in the last sprint we did, he just ignored my lead out completely and did a much better time than on the previous lap where I was trying to help him. So I think I'm more of a hindrance than a help. But that's always good fun. This is just a gentle recovery stroke preparation ride, but it's hard to resist the sprint challenges when they come about. So everyone feel free to join in, and if as long as we all regroup afterwards, I think that's the way most of these group rides should go. Right, who did I fail to mention? A. Lang, I think I could see there. Let's have a look a bit further back. I can see Kev Stephen down there. C. Hayes, T. Giange, G. Tiffin. Sorry if I'm repeating names that I've already mentioned. I'm just keen not to miss anybody out. But B. Lane I can see further up the road. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining. This is always a fun ride, and as I mentioned in the intro, this one is particularly important. Hugh Lundberg, I'm not sure if I'd spotted your name at the front of the pack there before now, so thanks very much for coming along. Okay, it looks like we possibly have someone off the back. I think B. Rao has very kindly offered to go back and sort of help pull them in, but we're more than happy to slow down as a group if I get the command. Usually if someone just types slow, that's an indication for me to slow the whole group down and try and let anybody that's dropped off the back get back on. Although in the spirit of this year's Giro d'Italia, if someone types slow, that should really be the trigger for us all to attack. So luckily we've got some super strong riders that have been regulars in this group ride. They're always willing to drop back and give a helping hand, and I really appreciate it. Okay, it's Pip Morgan who had missed the start. That's why they're 40 seconds off the back. Hey, Mr. Shane Miller. We have Zwift royalty in the house. It's great to see you, buddy. I'm a bit of a fanboy actually, huge fan of your videos. A lot of it's way over my head, far too technical, but somehow it's entertaining anyway. So keep up the good work. You may recall one of my very first videos was based on having watched a Shane Miller video where he'd so casually in jeans and trainers or whatever, whilst doing I think it was a test for a trainer or a power meter, just very casually whacked in a sort of 11-second reverse Watopia sprint time. So I kind of made that one of my challenges. So fully prepared, fully equipped, and giving it everything I had, I tried to beat that time. You'll have to search out the video to see the results, but spoiler alert, I wasn't happy. Let's put it that way. No, he's a monster. I love your kit design as well, Shane. I think that was a great idea. I think all new Zwift kits should be based on existing kits with just sort of hand-drawn graffiti over them with whichever team name you want on there. I think that looked really good. And a doodle of, well, what Shane tells me was a llama in a helmet. Personally, I think it looks slightly more phallic than that, but I'll leave that to your own interpretation. Okay, I think a couple of guys are going to drop back. So what I might do is slow everybody down to, say, 1.5 watts per kilogram to try and regroup. Right, so this one's been a bit more ragged than usual. Some big splits, which is it's a bit of a shame, but it's understandable that a few guys missed the start, and so a couple of other guys dropped back to try and sort of help pull them in, which is brilliant. And I've just sort of held a reduced pace for a while, just to try and make it easier for the chasing group to catch back on. But obviously that's meant we've got another group that have carried on at the proper pace, which it's not them charging away, it's them doing what the advertised pace is, so fair play. But I managed to group up with 3 or 4 others, and we're just going to try and increase it slightly over the advertised rate to try and pull back in the group, the main bunch, which are about 30 seconds up the road. So we've got some strong riders in here, so I don't actually think it'll be a problem. It's great to have Shane Miller in the ride, who's just revealed, obviously, he's coming over for the, do you know what, I forget the name, but it's the virtual World Champs round, I think it is. It's in the UK, in London, over the weekend, and he's over for that, so I don't know if he'll have time, but I'm going to try and convince him to come along to our Box Hill ride, which would be amazing. This is a bit of a balancing act. I want to try and up the tempo, but make sure we don't split up this group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders with myself, Dave Crook, C. Hayes, D. Williams, A. Miller Lime. So somewhere around sort of 2.6, 2.5, 2.6 is probably about right. We've taken 5 seconds out of the group ahead already, so it'd be good if we can all bunch up. I noticed Dave Crook asking Shane Miller for a lead out for this sprint. I feel truly hurt. I've been his lead out man for the last couple of weeks, and then the llama comes along and I'm dumped. It's disgusting. That's thinking with your head and not your heart, Dave. I'm hurt. Now this is good though. We've got all 5 of us nice and tightly packed. B-Rail's waited up for us as well. Good man. So we're a powerful bunch of 6 now. Is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including myself, yep. And the lead group are now just 19 seconds up the road. Unless there's another group further up from that, I'm not absolutely sure. Actually, while I've got Mr. Miller here, I don't know if you've been watching the video, but if you are, it's probably a good time for me to ask about the rotor power meter that you installed. I don't think I missed it, but I haven't seen a video where you've sort of fully tested it, but if I have missed it, please point me in the right direction. But that's one I'm really interested in for my Cervelo, mainly because it fits the bottom bracket set up perfectly. It looks like a nice bit of kit, so be really interested to see your thoughts on that. And there we go. We have contact. Brilliant. All right, let's knock it back down to 2. I'll tell you what might be a good idea. Someone take a screenshot of Shane Miller in his Team Type 1 kit, blast it all over Zwift riders, Zwift racers and Team Type 1 forums that the llama has joined Team Type 1. I think you'll get quite a few responses to that. Right, here we go. Here's the first, I think this is the first sprint that's going to be contested. Let's start winding a bit of speed on. Where's Dave? He's there, he's there. Is he going to follow me? Now that his preferred wingman, Shane, has had to leave the event. You're stuck with me, Dave. Let's see what we can do. All right. Here we go. 6 watts per kilogram. Anyone else in my wheel? Whoa, Kev's there. Kev's there. Dave's coming at 11. Oh, Kev's going to do me again, big time. And what time? 23.3 for Kev, nice job, man. 24.3 for Dwight, 24.6 for Dave. Alright, hopefully we can all regroup now. Hey, Neil Clements, thanks very much for the ride on, my friend. Alright, I think the next sprint I'm going to concentrate on myself and not being a lead out. I'll see how that works for me. Let's try and get everyone to regroup around me now. Just going to hold it steady for a bit. That's the only problem with the sprints. Obviously it really splits everyone up. But if I just ask for everybody to come around the beacon, then it should be good. Let's try and get back together before the start line for the next lap. I think that's basically everyone, or everyone that was behind me that was part of that bunch. So we can start now tightening up with the guys ahead. That kit looks great, doesn't it? Really good design. Well done, guys. I put a post on yesterday with a mock-up of our the WKG Love Velo kit. It looks really nice, but I will just reach out a quick apology to the Zwift employees and members that I tagged in that post. I wasn't serious. I know how busy you guys are, how hard you work, and how many more important projects you're currently overseeing. So as much as I genuinely would love us to have our own team kit, our own identity on there, I do understand there's a lot of other teams as well, and circuit expansion and other updates would certainly take priority for the majority of Zwifters. So it was all meant in jest, as I'm sure you knew, but just so I'll get that out there anyway. Oh, the idea of the virtual man bun didn't seem to go down too well though. Alright, I'm just going to elaborate a little for those who don't know what my link is with Team Type 1. I think it would have been New Year's Eve in 1998, possibly 99, that my son, who's now 20, nearly 21, was diagnosed with Type 1 diabetes. He was only 2 at the time, and my wife and I had noticed a sort of severe lethargy, weight loss, excessive drinking, excessive urinating for a couple of weeks around Christmas. So we had taken him to the GP, and hand on heart, this is what we were told. Was the first assessment was that it was his way of attention seeking, sort of constantly asking for drinks, wetting the bed, not eating the right stuff at the right time, and I knew nothing about diabetes prior to this. So in my ignorance, we actually walked away almost reassured that that was the diagnosis. But obviously his condition worsened, and we took him straight back. And this time they did actually do a blood sugar test, and his reading, I think you measure them differently in different parts of the country, but I think it's millimoles that we measure them. Different parts of the world, but it's millimoles that it's measured where I am. And on a standard blood glucose test, the level was too high to even give a reading. So bearing in mind the average blood glucose level is sort of 5 to 5.5 millimoles. The testing kits that we use go up to 40 millimoles, which gives you an indication of how high the level can be. And his reading was beyond the upper level of that test. So we immediately were rushed to hospital, where he was obviously admitted and put on an insulin drip. And that was the start of the balance of trying to get his blood sugar levels under control firstly, and then calculate a dosage that fits in with his diet and his body weight and size, etc. And now, obviously, in his 20s, he has to deal with it more than anyone. But it's being that it was through his pre-teen years, his teens, and now early adulthood, the other challenges that come along with that means that his mum and I obviously have been and are very much involved. And so that's my link with Team Type 1 and with JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, for whom I'm riding the Ride London, along with quite a few other Zwifters, I'm delighted to say. So hence my huge admiration and support for Team Type 1 and all the brilliant work that they do. And I would hope to have many more collaborations with them going forward. A lot of the guys and girls that are members of the team are actually afflicted with Team Type 1 themselves. And I've mentioned it before in previous videos. We all struggle to balance our energy levels, our fluid intakes, me with cramps and all the other things that I moan about whilst doing these rides. And obviously, if you were to throw into the mix having to regulate your own blood sugar levels, your own insulin supply, your own sugar supply, at the same time as dealing with everything else that comes along with this sport that we love, it becomes infinitely more complicated. But the spirit and determination of everybody in Team Type 1, they're obviously not the only group, but they're the ones I'm most familiar with, and their spirit and attitude is phenomenal, and hats off to them and everybody involved. All right, while I was talking, we managed to split the group again. I've still got a decent bunch around me, but got a few more heading off up the road a little bit. That's fine. One of them's Dave. I know he'll drop back because he'll be looking for a lead out on the next sprint. But yeah, my power's been fluctuating a little bit, so I think that's caused a bit of a split, so sorry guys. Do you know what, on this sprint, it's clear Kev Stephen is the wheel to hold on to. Now he's drafted me on a couple of these sprints and nicked it on the line, so if I've got anything on my legs, I'll be going for revenge this time, Mr. Stephen. I think this might be the last sprint as well, with only 14 minutes left. I think I'd have to do a really quick lap to get round for another sprint. Hi Brian Roden, thank you very much for the ride on, buddy. I've been watching your performances with great interest, absolutely storming it in a lot of the races that I've seen, so excellent stuff. Represented the team like a true Trojan, so appreciate that, buddy. I'm pretty sure I saw that Dwight Williams wasn't going to be sprinting and Dave Crook wasn't going to be sprinting because of their other commitments. I'll tell you, you get there, that green jersey is just dangling in front of you. No one seems to be able to resist. So that all went out the window. And no doubt they'll both go for it again on this lap. I know I will, although feeling a bit jelly-legged today. I was hoping to do an outdoor ride between now and the Saturday meet-up. But not sure if the best thing I could do is actually just rest up. It's not a huge ride on Saturday. I think it's about 65k. Fair bit of climbing, but about 1100. Oh no, what was it? Maybe about, I can't remember now. Maybe about 600-700 meters of climbing. But that's kind of a loose schedule, and it does seem that there's potential interest in veering off the planned route slightly to take in some of the really big hills that are around that way. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to be relying on the apple cider vinegar drink mix as endorsed by Mr. Keith Denton, and as he did so openly endorse it, I will be looking to seek legal action if it doesn't resolve cramp or causes me any other nasty side effects. Speaking of which, I've got a slightly different mix in here today. Doesn't taste anywhere near as good as the last one I made. It's still predominantly Coke, lemon and apple cider vinegar. So we're coming up to the start of the sprint zone. Where's Kev? Yeah, look, see, he's hanging around. He's so snide. He's just hanging around off the back of me. Doesn't want to put his nose in the wind and drag me along for this sprint. Yeah, look. Just sitting in my wheel. Just let him know I'm onto him. Ah. He's decided to jump ahead, has he? Alright, here we go. Let's try and tee this one up. Oh, I was slower than the last one. Great job, Dwight. 22.6. Awesome. 22.8 for B-Rail. 23.2 for Dave. Alright, let's try and regroup for this last 8 minutes. Oh. Alright, Well, that was hot. It's 23 degrees in here, which obviously isn't blistering, but it's only 9:30 in the morning, and it's sticky heat. It doesn't feel good, but that was really good fun. Thank you again, everybody, for coming along. I love those 2-for-1s, and it was really nice doing it for team type. Pardon me. It was really nice doing it for team type 1. Just gave an extra special meaning and purpose to the whole ride. So thank you so much for coming along. Thanks very much for watching. Well done to all you sprinters. It's the usual suspects again. I tell you, we're going to have to up our game if it's not going to be constant clean sweeps from Kev, Dwight, Dave. Oh crikey, I've forgotten somebody. Apologies, whoever that is. But there's usually 4 of you that are battling out at the top of the sprints. Check back on the video to see who that was. So yeah, we're going to have to up our game. But as always, really good fun. Great to see you all on course. And the next one will be a vlog of our in real life ride. Yep, we're actually going outside. There's 5 or 6 of us at the moment, all wearing, hopefully, our team type 1 kits. I've got it on the brain. Our WKG Love Velo jerseys and bibs. So we'll be a proper pro-looking peloton, apart from the excess baggage, as we ride up the Surrey Hills. So keep a lookout for the video on that one. It should be fun. And I look forward to seeing you all on course very soon. Ciao.